All right, well, I will call the meeting to order and we'll start with the flag salute. Please stand and hand over your trade. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Roll call. Will you lead us forward?
Okay, Johnson.
Here.
Klein.
Here.
Harrison.
Here.
Kern.
Here.
We'll entertain a motion to approve our agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, board organization for 2026. I will entertain nominations.
Actually, we have to
Sorry,
we need to swear in
Oh, I apologize. How did I do that?
Matthew first.
Matt, will you come up here, please? Okay, ready? You're
Ready.
going to repeat after me. I, Matthew De La Montoya, do solemnly swear
I, Matthew De La Montoya,
Tanya.
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservations
without any mental reservations
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I well and faithfully discharge
and that I will and faithfully discharge
the duties upon which I'm about to enter.
the duties upon which I'm about to enter.
And then you'll both just need to sign that before
Okay, got it.
Congratulations.
All right, now that that's over with, I will entertain nominations for, we'll start with board president.
I nominate Joe Johnson as president for our 26th year.
Okay,
Okay, I'll second.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm honored, thank you.
Thank you.
And I'll move to appoint Chelsea for board clerk.
Is there a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I myself.
Yes.
Yes.
And then I'll move to appoint superintendent as board secretary.
Second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Is there any public input? Stephanie, I'll hand it over to you for fiscal.
Yes, so we had our special board meeting on Monday to adopt our first interim for PCOE. We are a positive certification, and thank you for adopting our first interim report. The next presentation and report will be second interim, which is actuals up until January 31st. So you'll see that presentation in March for adoption.
Okay. This was informational only, so you don't
Yeah.
have any action on that?
Wanted to remind people to have it.
All right, and then also information only on number 10, PCOE service contracts, personnel agenda items, and check register. Nothing for us to do there. Okay? How did I miss that? Any other public input? You sure? Okay, our consent items, minutes from the 9/10/25 regular meeting and minutes from the 9/17/25 special board meeting. Minutes from 10/15/25 and 11/12/25. Barb, were all of us in attendance for all of these? We might
So
need to-
Cindy was not here for the, so I have all the dates, so we might just need to go one by
Let's go
one.
one at a time. So Cindy was not here on 9/10?
Yes, that's
Is that
correct.
correct? But Chelsea, Jolene, and I were.
Correct.
So I make a motion to approve the 9/10 minutes.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I make a motion to approve the 9:17,
Chelsea, you were not at 9:17?
and I don't have that on my list, it was 10:15.
So I'll move to approve the minutes from 9/17/2025.
Second
A second.
All in favor?
Just the three of us, aye.
Aye. All right, and then for 10:15, is there a motion?
I make a motion to approve the minutes for 10:15.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then for our 11:12, I was not there. so
Correct.
I will abstain.
I make a motion to approve the minutes for 11:12, and it's Cindy.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you for helping us struggle through that, Barbara. Appreciate it. Any future agenda items? I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Say that out loud. Yes.
Yeah.
Ready? All right, here we go. All right, thank you all for being here. We will call the meeting to order at 5:30. Please join me for the pledge. Ready, salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Okay, attendance, County Administrator Richard Duvarney
Here.
and PCOE Superintendent Andrea White is not present this evening.
And so this is the approval of the agenda, and I would just like to make one change to amend the agenda to move item 11B to 14C as an action item. So we got out of order, so we just need to flip them so that we do our AB 1200 disclosure before approving our PCTEA tentative agreement, actually. Okay, so that's just a change in the agenda. Educational partners update. Our county superintendent, Andrea White, normally does this presentation. She's unable to be with us this evening, so I will read her report. And it generally has to do with our process with FICMAT and that kind of stuff. So here it is. So as part of our commitment to transparency and community engagement, PUSD will host a second round of community listening meetings. We'll share the fiscal stabilization plan and gather community input. All meetings will be held from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. We will also be live streaming it on our YouTube channel if you would like to listen. Each site principal will be sending out information as well about the meetings, and the schedule for the meetings are as follows. So the first one will be at Portola High School on January 6th, Quincy High School, January 7th, Greenville Elementary, January 8th, and Chester High School on January 12th, and again, they're from 5:30 to 6:30. Anytime you have questions or want to see the most updated information on our process with FICMAT, it is posted on our website under the fiscal update tabs. And as a reminder, this is a board meeting held in public. Public comment is your opportunity to share your views on the agenda items. Under the Brown Act, board members or myself may not engage in dialogue with the public during this time. If you ask a question, we cannot respond during public comment. The board or myself may address your questions during board discussion if they choose. If your question is not answered, please email your question after the meeting so we can provide a full response. Also, feel free to reach out to our office when the agenda is posted to get clarification before the meeting. All right. Next, this is the best part of the meeting coming up right here. So, so these are the presentations, and so this is Principal's Recognition Award, and so I'd like to invite Ms. Blanton to come up.
Well, good evening, County Administrator Duvarney. I'd like to invite Miss Vivian Turner to come join me, please. And her parents, Miss Morgan Turner, Tyson Turner, Andy and Gigi, and Evelyn, if you'd like to join us as well. So it is my pleasure and honor to present Miss Vivian Turner with the Principal's Recognition Award. At Older, we affectionately call Vivian Madam President. She is our student council president, and she is an expert in parliamentary procedure. So if you need any help, this is your resource. Call her, please. She'll be happy to help. She puts so much thought and craft and care into our weekly student council agendas, and she's always looking for ways to improve our school. Just last month, under her leadership, the student council organized a food drive for our community, and the student council helped every grade level brought in over 700 food items to donate to our local community, and we're so proud of her leadership and the positive impact they're having. Outside of school, Ms. Vivian has been an active member of 4-H, and she is in her second year of serving as the 4-H president as well. She is also a scholar athlete, and she plays volleyball, basketball, and softball. When I talked to Ms. Megan, her 6th grade teacher, she said, I have known Vivian for many, many years. And from a young age, she was driven, kind, and knew the right thing to do. Ready? As she's getting older, she's not only improving on these qualities, but gaining more. She's a leader, an advocate, and is intrinsically motivated. We're so lucky to have her in class, in this school, and in this community. When I talked to Miss Brittany Stewart, our administrative assistant, she's weeping right over here in the corner. She said, Viv is a powerhouse of a human. She is so organized, brave, and on top of things. I always joke that if I need to take a day off, we should just have her cover for her. Vivian is caring, smart, thoughtful, and so involved. I love her spirit and her desire to make the world better through her actions. Viv has more on her plate than the average child, and she never complains. She tells me about her early mornings with her animals and meetings after school and events on the weekends with joy. She's a spectacular human, and I cannot wait to watch what she does in the coming years. We are so proud of Vivian, and we are so grateful to have her represent Quincy Elementary School.
Do we get pictures? We got pictures?
Lori, you got some? Here you go. I'll get one because Andrew likes to post them on the website.
Oh, okay.
Alrighty. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Perfect.
I'll try
Oh, perfect, nice.
Now off to the winter concert.
I'll do it. And she's also a musician performing our winter concert.
Wow.
Busy evenings.
Congratulations, Vivian, Tyson, and Morgan, and enjoy. Our next item is our Quincy Elementary School presentation. Julianne Fitzsimmons.
See you later. Okay, provide some fun. Okay, well, good evening, everyone. This is Julianne Fitzsimmons. She's our amazing student services coordinator at the Alder campus. And I'm gonna turn it over to her in just a moment, but I want to provide some context about the program we're featuring tonight. Next slide, please. So last summer, our entire district participated in a book study, reading The Anxious Generation by Jonathan Haidt. And we could do one, thank you. And this was really in alignment with our new district-wide policy for a cell phone-free campus. And so we were really thinking about how can we reduce screen time? How can we encourage students to go outside and play? And one of the ideas that came out of this book is something called the Let Grow Project. And I'm gonna let Julianne tell you all about this Let Grow project, but first I just wanted to share that the project, the main program goals is to promote self-reliance, independence, promote a sense of self-confidence, and really help foster and cultivate the CASEL social and emotional skills of self-awareness, self-management, relationship skills, social awareness, and responsible decision-making. And Ms. Julianne really cultivates all of those skills in all of our students. But ultimately, this program was so aligned with our school-wide vision. Our theme this year is Trail Together, and we're really aiming to help our students care deeper about their peers, about the school, about the community. And we're also trying to increase independence and combat that learned helplessness that can come when things are too hard or at a frustrational level. And so also trying to help them climb higher with their academic learning. And we have adopted one of our values as resilience. And so this program just fit in so well with what Ms. Julianne was doing and what our overall school vision is. So I'm gonna pass it over to Ms. Julianne to talk to you about Let Grow.
Thank you. So as we kind of dive into this, I want you all to think, we're gonna go back in time a little bit, but think about a time in your childhood when you had the opportunity to do something independently. How did you feel? I know for me, one of the things that come up is making myself breakfast. My mom would be getting ready for work. She was a busy lady, and put my Pop-Tart in, make my hot chocolate, and making breakfast for myself when I was I think I was 9 or something like that. And I was like, wow, this is kind of cool. And then I kind of took it a step further, hey, I'm on my way home from work, can you start making the hamburger helper? And I'd start browning the meat and stuff like that. So some of those early moments really stood out for me. And next slide, please. So when we think about those moments, letting our kids kind of step up and do their own thing. We notice that when adults do step back, kids step up. Next slide. And this isn't our regular homework assignment. This is an opportunity for our students to try something new, try something by themselves. Next slide. And when we think about how they can be independent and the things that they can do, it doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to have a lot of moving parts, a lot of prep. It could be something simple, something meaningful, something that matters to them, like climbing a tree, running an errand, making a meal. And these things, when we think about it, it's like, well, it's not really a big deal. But to our students, letting them have the opportunity to try some of these things on their own, it really is a big deal. The choices are endless, the impact is immediate. There's so many possibilities of things that they can do with the Let Grow project. Next. So at the beginning of every month, I go to all of the classrooms and I introduce the monthly focus. So for November and December, the focus was service. November, we talked about helping out around the house, and then one of the things that comes up a lot in the Let Grow project is stepping out of their comfort zone. So for December, it was kind of like, okay, well, we helped out around the house in November. How can we help out outside of the house? So incorporating our neighbors, family members. But going back to November, these were some of the ideas that the students came up with. I did not tell them any of these things. These were all ideas that they came up with on their own. Next slide. In the presentations, and I tell them every time, I'm like, we're gonna see this next month, we're gonna see this again, but this is the Let Grow cycle. And so we'll generate some ideas together, and then they can think about it, they can choose an activity, they'll try it out, they'll grow, and then it's also a really great opportunity for them to reflect on it. How did it go? What went well? What didn't go so well? And then thinking about what are you ready for next? So getting out of that comfort zone, leveling up, but also getting them to think about how their actions are impacting other people. You know, what did your family think when you started washing the dishes? How did they feel when you were vacuuming and they didn't have to ask you to do it? And a lot of the responses were happy, they were proud, but they also felt proud of themselves too.
So this is an example, this is one of our 6th grade students, and his idea for getting out of his comfort zone and spreading his wings in October was to put on a carnival that he would invite all the students to. It was also a fundraiser for the Plymouth to Pacific trip, but he really spread his wings in this. He took over the backyard, he cleaned everything up, he organized games. He also, you know, even his parents were a little nervous, passed out invitations to the entire 6th grade class, and they ended up coming over. Like, students really came. They loved seeing like the different events. And his parents were like the most impressed because he wasn't asking them to do all the work. Like, he was out in their backyard raking and preparing everything. And they just couldn't believe that he had an idea and he brought it to life. And he is ultimately contributing that back to his class community for their watershed trip as well. So just seeing not only the student response, but the parent response was really amazing.
So being independent leads to new problem solving, resilience, joy. Like I said, you know, when the students are showing their independence and taking the lead on these things, you know, they're noticing how it affects other people and how they feel about themselves in the process too. So what I've been doing is at the end of our presentations, I'll pass out these paper leaves and I'll ask them to, if they want to write down what they did for their activity, or they can draw a picture of it. And we started the Let Grow tree. My hope is that throughout the school year, our tree is gonna get bigger and fuller as we go. And honestly, like, one of my favorite things about this project is I'll take the leaves and I'll sit at my desk and I'll look through them. And it's just so much fun just seeing the things that they're doing, and they're really putting themselves out there. I mean, when they talk about their ideas, there's almost like a little bit of nervousness, like, ooh, I haven't done this before, am I ready for it? And then they try it, and then I'll see it, I'm like, oh my gosh, they did it. It's amazing. It's really my favorite part. I actually have a stack of leaves on my desk. I've been a little busy lately, but I am going to add to our tree, and I notice when they walk by, they'll kind of stop and they'll look at it, and I'm hoping that it's kind of generating some ideas for them as well of things that they can try. Just a couple of examples of these, someone went to their first sleepover, someone walked their dog, someone tried new foods, this friend made some cupcakes, and they're already thinking about what they want to do next, which I think is amazing. But these are just a few of the things that they've been sharing with us throughout this process, and it's just fun to see where this will take them throughout the school year. The Let Grow experience meets each child, each family exactly where they are, which I think is amazing. It's not about, oh, I can't do that yet, or I'm not. Their thinking changes a little bit. It's like, well, why don't I give this a try? And then you start to kind of see the wheels turning, and that's where the growth really happens, because then they put themselves out there. Next slide. One of the great things about the Let Grow project is just kind of bridging that gap between school and home. When I do presentations in the classroom, I bring an activity idea sheet. They usually take it home in their folders, and I'll tell them, I'll be like, this is a great way to get that conversation going, kind of build those communication skills and keep family members in the loop. A couple months ago, there was a picture of a child getting their hair cut, and it said, make my own hair appointment. And I said, okay, before you make an appointment to get your hair cut, please involve your family member. Please talk about these ideas that you have, so that you're not going getting your hair cut and then coming back with rainbow, whatever. I was like, talk about it together. It's a really great way to just kind of bridge that gap. Next slide. So here's our Let Grow cycle again. And as you can see, it's a really great way to just build that community between families and teachers and our community as well. It's just been so nice being able to share this with all of you today. Thank you for giving me the time to just share this with you, and hopefully it'll inspire and other students can give this a try too.
Thank you, Julianne, that's fantastic. Wow, a lot of growth for those kids. Awesome. Our next item is the La Sierra Food Project, and I'd like to introduce Vanessa Vasquez. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, everybody. I'm Vanessa Vasquez, and I'm the director of the La Sierra Food Project. We're a nonprofit food access and farm education organization located here in Plumas County, and we operate a 2.5-acre farm over across from Gansner Airfield. And we're here to talk about two programs. Both of these programs we partner with PUSD on and other local schools. We for this upcoming year 2026, we have most of our grant funding in place to run these programs. So I just want to let you know, this is just an informational presentation, but we are looking already towards year 2027, and so eventually we will be coming to the administrators and the board to ask to partner on grants to continue these programs, because they're really successful and they offer a lot to our community. So Jessica Ritchie is our farm educator. She's going to give the first part of the presentation about our farm to school program, and then Bethany Rouse is our program manager, and she'll be giving a presentation about our high school farm internship program. So I'll let the ladies take it away.
Okay. Yeah, so Farm to School with La Sierra Food Project. Excellent. Farm to School, so it's a movement, we'll say that phrase a lot, but it connects kids in the cafeterias who feed them to the fresh produce and the farmers who grow it. So we're increasing access to healthy foods that are local and supporting regional economies. And then you'll hear me a lot say also hands-on. So hands-on garden education and the values
The ecologically grown food at farmers connect kids to their local food system and deepen their ecological education. So we do regenerative farm practices, and that's a big part of it. That's me, hi. So I'm the farm educator. It's almost 2 years now that I've been at Los Sierra Food Project. I'm a 2009 QHS alumni. Mom, I also work as a nurse. I come from the garden experience, and I had a lot of coworkers who were kind of confused, like, why, what's up with both? I totally see it as just this wellness spectrum. So the hospital side is certainly one of it, but even before that, our health and wellness is so important at what we eat and what we're doing. And so that's a picture of my 2 kiddos and Vanessa's kiddos out at the farm helping, and I think that just as we need to consume the nutritious foods, we also need to be out there involved in growing it and knowing how it's grown. So that's me. This is kind of a little glance. So in 2025, we had 28 different field trips, TK through 6, and that was around Plymouth County. We had Portola and Greenville out a couple times. QES walks down. We had the kindergartners and TK classes out too. So a lot of fun. We also had 7 taste tests, and we donated 157 pounds of food to the schools also this year. Excellent. And then we have some different components of the high school. Over the summer, I hired 2 high school students to work as camp counselors, and so they're paid for this experience. And one is going on and is doing her senior project mentorship with us, and that's a picture of Patty doing that. We also have a camp counselor from last year who's at FRC doing the outdoor ed program there. So it's a great coordination and tying in outdoor ed experience too. Excellent. So our taste tests I talked about, we had those. We had 2 of the summer at the free lunch program. We also handed out produce. We had lots of produce to give to families. It was fun sharing different recipes. Some ones were talking about zucchini and how they're going to prepare it. And then we also did some at the campuses, so Alder and Pioneer. And then what we do with that is like a table, and we chop up our veggies. And here's a picture of the lunchbox peppers that we grew specifically for the school this year because they're easy to eat and pretty dang tasty. And then the second thing that we did with our taste test, another way to get food into the high schools, was we gave it to the culinary arts classes. So QHS and Indian Valley Academy got boxes so they could make ratatouille, and delicata squash was another one, and we made soup and rosemary and all produce from our farm. So we donated, so that was awesome. Field trips. So a big thing that we do too is tie in the outdoor ed. They get their core class, they get to tie that in. Whether it's the reptiles, the birds, we do a lot of that. There's Eliza, our assistant farm educator, looking at apples, we're saving seeds, and then I did not include a picture because it's not as cute as the kids, but one of my highlights from the field trip was we also tasted and made food, and so we had our paper bowls, made some salsa. There were some kids who were like, oh no, I don't usually like salsa, but we talked about being a great food explorer, and so we're trying new things, and there was many paper bowls turned inside out, but kids were looking clean because they enjoyed it so much, so I don't have to the picture, but that was definitely one of my highlights. And then we have some quotes from some teachers. Miss Grove does TK, talking about the hands-on learning. It supports healthy eating habits and extends the hands-on learning that begins in the school garden. And next slide is also a quote from a kindergarten teacher, Miss O, talking about how much a part, she says, highlight and anchor of our kindergarten year, the year of the garden too. So we love having the field trips out. And then just to reiterate that we pivoted and were able to donate food to the schools this year. We have revved up and we're planning on selling more produce. But a bunch of things, we pivoted and we were able to donate due to grants that we have been talking about. And then the field trips are all free for the school. We've engaged the students, they're hands-on, they're growing outside of comfort zone. You get a lot of bells we're ringing when you're talking about your program, which is awesome. And then also, they're exposed to more vegetables, so we know that it can be hard to eat lots of vegetables. The more exposure, the more Brave Food Explorer, the more that they're gonna eat. So that's a win, getting more vegetable consumption in the cafeteria, and also decreases food waste. So we're offering, I know it's heartbreaking for the staff when they make the vegetables and the kids aren't eating them. So it's a win-win, and we'd love to continue, our relationship in the future. Field trips. My email's on the La Sierra Food Project website, and I'll also be emailing teachers again this spring so we can get more field trips going on.
Yeah, I'll just add to this slide, so part of the farm to school process, the intention is that the school district, the nutrition services would purchase produce from our farm, which they have in the past, but due to the budget cuts, PUSD, Tracy, we work with Tracy DeRue, she hasn't been able to make purchases. So that's why we pivoted and did some donations instead, but down the road, as the budget, hopefully as things get better, we would love to sell our produce to the school district again. But we'll continue as we are offering the free field trips and doing food donations because we think this is really important and we want to get the food to the kids anyway, so that's part of our mission.
Howdy everyone. So Jessica works with some of the younger kids and high schoolers too. And I get to work with high school age and then college as well. So I run a high school internship as a part of our workforce development programming at La Sierra Food Project. And it's a summer job training program. So we hire students who are aged 14 all the way to 18, and usually have 3 in the summer. And we offer students hands-on training that build job skills, teach ecologically focused farming practices, and provides direct learning in our community, all while these students get to receive a paycheck at the same time, which is often sometimes their first real job. The purpose of this program is to provide that paid work experience and learning opportunities for young students to build skills and resumes, like I said, first job for a lot of these students. Educate students on food production systems, farming practices, and healthy cooking as well. Jessica does a lot of cooking with students, and then high school interns, we do a lot of cooking on farm as well with the produce that they both grow and harvest. It also helps supplement our farm labor, which helps us a lot. It's 2.5 acres of land, it's a lot of work. Everything is hand sown, hand weeded. It's an organic practice, so there's not very much equipment out there. And also it being a piece of training the next generations of farmers, cooks, and local food advocates. For 2026, some goals that I have in mind. I want to hire 3 more additional farm crew interns to work for 6 weeks out at Rugged Roots Farm. And then provide 2 education opportunities on industries outside of Rugged Roots Farm that are still related to food systems, agriculture, or community service via field trips. We've gone to Pumas Crisis Intervention and Resource Center as sort of a community resource work field, and I would like to take a trip to FRC as well. So sort of expanding work outside of just working on the farm and sort of thinking about food systems work in a bigger way. Some typical work that that farm crew interns will do on Rugged Roots. Daily routine farm tasks that we all take part in. Vanessa is our executive director, but she's also out there weeding with the rest of us. So weeding, harvesting, processing produce, it's truly a team effort to make this happen. Learning about soil health practices, so sowing cover crops, mulching, and applying some compost. We do compost tea and then actual compost applications. The interns also sell produce at our Rugged Roots farm stands. So they learn a little bit of customer service skills and retail skills as well. And they also make produce donations to local food banks, so we'll package it up and we'll take it over to CAN or the Crisis Center as well. And then cooking meals, again with Rugged Roots Farm to feed our volunteers. We have a really awesome volunteer base, and then also the crew as well. And it's really awesome to sit together and share the food that we grow. Why is this program important? It's not just a summer paycheck, but it's a learning and skills-based job training program. It's often it's the first real job that students receive, which I think is awesome. Having that experience even before you maybe step into a college environment or into the workforce is something to put on your resume, which is a really great thing. And to our knowledge, it's the only local, La Sierra Food Project being the only local organization that offers like an official internship opportunity for high school students, which I'm really proud of and would like to see more of from other organizations as well. Just to quote, I always have them do exit interviews when they leave, or just write a little bit something about what they learned. They write some really awesome things. La Sierra Food Project gave me the opportunity to grow love for helping the community and learn the benefits of farm to table. Because of this experience, I've developed a passion for growing my own food, and I'm seeking a career related to community service. So it's a great program, and I'm really excited to lead it next summer. I think that's it.
Well, thank you for your presentation and thank you for your partnership. We appreciate the grace on the finances and we always love free stuff, so.
Thank you so much for having us, we appreciate it.
Thank
On
you.
to another meeting.
And our next section is public input, and I believe we have one public input. Stuart Clark.
It's always hard to follow such delightful stuff.
Be delightful.
Yes.
It's fun.
I'll try. Stu Clark on behalf of PCTA. Yes, I brought props. I'm not wearing that to be rude. It's an initial prop. I actually wrote stuff down this time. We are cold and tired. We're weary. We are weary of one trend that I'd like to raise on behalf of the membership is challenges arise. We are experiencing a response more as a reaction than as following a set policy. Than saying, we thought about these kinds of situations arising, all the stuff that happens in schools. It feels as though every decision is an isolated reality, not part of something larger, set of policies and procedures. I know that you personally have been hearing that from our president. We want to participate. We want to help write them. We do want all of our processes to be interactive. Yes, we look very much forward in 4 more items down the list of hearing you say, yep, we have a contract, because we'd like to continue that discussion. My guys, you know that sunshine letters are coming. We really, really, really want to build things right. I think that let it grow. We need to build a let it grow tree for our relationship, because right now it's broken. We're not going to be asking for any money because we know there isn't any. Yet, we want to retain and hire really high qualified, dedicated people who want to be here. And if there's no money, then the only thing that's left is a work environment that is, I want to be there. I'm willing to take less to be there. We don't have that. We can. But the discussions have to be open, they have to happen. And they have to be forward-thinking. We have gotten a lot better with responding to things that come up. Let's head it off, please. If we keep responding, I can tell you the reason for the black shirt, not the PCTA shirt. This is our parent organization. We have a saying now. It's starting to take effect in districts all over the state. We can't wait. I point out Richmond. If you haven't read the news, please do. We don't want to go there. Absolutely do not want to go there. I don't know anybody in the state that does. But I can tell you, people are ready. Let's talk and not have that happen.
Thank you. Item number 10, Plymouth Charter School renewal petition. And so this was a public hearing that was held on November 12th to consider the renewal of the petition by Plymouth Charter School. And so this item returns on this agenda within the statutory timeline. And so this is an action item. And is there any public comment on this item? Okay, with that, I have no public comment. And so I approve this item for the renewal of the Plymouth Charter School petition. Alrighty. Okay, these are some staff updates, even though we've changed a little bit of the order. But the next item is the personnel transactions, and so I'll introduce Jennifer Nesbitt.
We're seeking approval of the HR agenda as presented with the exception of item A, number 2B, to be tabled for a later meeting.
Okay, and this was in the packet. Any public comment? Okay, so we'll approve the HR agenda as presented with the exception of item A, number 2B, which is tabled to a future meeting. All right, thank you, Jennifer. Okay, and this is where we
Move on
change.
to leadership, yep.
Okay, so now we go to 14, is that right?
14B.
Yeah, 14B. Or, yeah, 14B, bargaining disclosures, AB 1200.
Yeah, so we are required when any tentative agreement gets signed, before we ratify, we have to disclose the financial impact of anything that occurs in the tentative agreement. We also have to submit it to CDE for approval before going to approval for our board. We received our letter from CDE approving our tentative agreement disclosure documents because of no fiscal impact at this time to the district. So we're seeking approval of the 25-26 AB 1200 public disclosure collective bargaining agreement for PCTA.
Okay, so any public comment on this item? Okay, so with that, we will approve the approval of the PUSD PCTA tentative agreement, and it's an
The AB 1200.
AB 1200 disclosure of the bargaining units agreement was, so that is an action item. Okay, so I approve that, and then we'll go to C. Okay, and on C, the recommendation is to approve the public disclosure of the collective bargaining unit agreement between PUSD and PCTA. So this is an action item. Any comment on this? Okay, I approve the agreement, and with PCTA as far as the agreement. Okay, all right, we're done with that. There we go. Now we're gonna go, now I gotta figure out where I am.
Leadership, number 12.
Number 12? All right, there we go. Okay. Okay, number 12, leadership, and this is the policy revisions.
Yes.
Yeah, Jessica Stone.
Yeah, we're seeking approval for the revised board policy 6146.1 as presented in the board packet.
And that was in the packet, high school graduation requirements. Any public comment? Okay, so I approve that action as an action item, the policy revisions. Next item 13 is student achievement, and Jessica.
Yes, so tonight we're seeking approval for the residential electrical wiring course for adult education.
So this is an addition to the adult education courses,
Yes.
and it is an action item. And are there any public comment? Yes.
The only comment is I noticed it's only in Quincy and was just looking if there was just a comment that if there is enrollment in other towns, is it an option to be remote as well?
That's a great question.
So that's just a comment.
Yeah, all right, I'm not sure. All right,
Thank you.
okay, so I'll approve the adult education course approvals. And then we have 14, and so since we did our first interim approval on Monday, we have Stephanie that will give us a little overview.
Yeah, so we did present a board presentation for the adoption of the first interim on December 15th to meet the statutory deadline of adoption on or before that date. I also held a Zoom Q&A yesterday at 4 to 5:45. It was an hour and 45-minute presentation, but I think it was helpful and useful. If you weren't able to attend, that presentation will be posted hopefully tomorrow on our fiscal budget report page, where underneath each one of our reporting periods, if I hold a Q&A, that's where they will be posted. We will try to present those sooner too. There'll be a notification for the second interim on our website a few days before, and also go out in Parent Square. So if you missed this one, go ahead and watch that reporting or join us in our next one for second interim. I do want to, some questions came up about our Secure Rural Schools funding, and I just want to give an update there as it was presented a part of our first interim adoption. So historically, just so everyone's aware, we have received about $1.75 million from our Secure Rural Schools funding. We did not receive this last year, but historically, PCOE receives 15% of that $1.45 million. FRC has a percentage base of up to 15%. And then 15% gets split, the remaining 15% gets split between PUSD, Sierra Plumas, Joint Unified School District, and Plumas Charter Schools. We do have Sierra Plumas Charter Schools being 3.2% of the federal land in Plumas County of their district. So what we do is we get one big lump sum and we have to divide it up between all the schools, the county office, and roads. So in the total allocation, we have to make sure those are all divided up and spread out across Plumas County. We only received our Forest Reserve Fund last year in 24-25 of $165,000, and normally for the districts that looks like about $900,000. So we did end last year without getting that additional Secure Rural Schools funding. So in 25-26, because of how legislation was moving, we did budget for 25-26 about $700,000 for Secure Rural Schools to come through this year. But with the current legislation, it looks like they're even preparing to retro 24-25, which means that we may be able to receive our lost revenue from last year for Secure Rural Schools and receive it in 25-26. So I will be more confident when we receive the check in hand and it clears, as was mentioned earlier. But it is good news. However, we do not consider this a reduction in the constructural deficit spending that we need to secure, because this is not guaranteed funding, and we never want to bank ongoing expenses on something that is not guaranteed to be a part of our funding. It does help us and it's great, but we just need to keep that in mind as we're budgeting moving forward. And yes, so look on our website for the presentation and board packet.
Great. And then the one piece of it, it hasn't technically been signed by the
Yes,
president
the president
yet.
has not signed it yet.
So we're hopeful that the president will sign it and it'll happen. So it's been a fight for years and years, and it will continue to be a fight, but it's good news that we did pass through Congress at least.
Absolutely. So whenever we get those emails that say, help us petition for this money, remember it's a pretty large portion for across not just us as PUSD, but across our county.
Thank you, Stephanie. All right, facilities is,
We're gonna open the public hearing on the PG&E easement request.
okay, so we have open public hearing, and the public hearing has to do with the request for dedication of a public utility easement to Pacific Gas and Electric Company. So this easement has been requested to go across the property located at 559 Main Street and 205 Grand in Greenville for the installation and maintenance of underground electrical lines and related facilities. Is there any public comment on this? All right, we'll close public hearing. And there's, and this is
Resolution for approval, yeah.
okay. And as county administrator, I vote to approve the dedication of a public utility easement.
Okay, this resolution requires a roll call vote. County Administrator Richard Duvarney.
Aye.
Okay.
Okay. The next item, 16, is the Plumas Charter MOU regarding banned field trip transportation. This is an action item, and PCS agrees to provide transportation service as per the attached MOU to PUSD band students for field trips as needed. Any comment on this item? Alrighty. So I approved the attached transportation MOU between PUSD and PCS and IBA. And then the last part of the agenda is our consent items, and they consist of the PUSD regular meeting minutes of November 12th, check registers for the month of November, PUSD service contracts, donations, field trips, and surplus items. So move to approve.
Just
And-
one comment, if I can.
Is it what?
I just one comment, I just
Yes.
wanted to thank Sue Holton for her donation that she did to CES. That is a very generous donation.
Yes, that was very kind.
Thank you.
Sue Halton, yeah. Appreciate those donations. Okay, any further agenda items? I don't know who I asked that question to, but. All right. Well, thank you all for being here, and thank you for those that are on YouTube. And we appreciate your involvement and for your care for PUSD students. So thank you very much, and meeting adjourned.